Well, guys, it is now time for Week 4 of the 2021 DCFL season. So as we take a look at the Week 3 stands when we last left off in the Eastern Conference, Indianapolis leads it as the only undefeated team left, with New York and Philadelphia right behind the playoff race, with Jacksonville, Baltimore, Boston right behind. And in the Western Conference, Kansas City has a tiebreaker over Oakland and Tacoma for the top spot, with Tacoma and Oakland being the wild card spots. And now here is the schedule for Week 4 as we start off with the Baltimore Charms at the Tacoma Slashers. That's pretty big. Then the Oakland Pillagers at the Indianapolis Rabid Stallions. That's a big one. And then a big out-of-conference one too, as Kansas City is at Jacksonville. And then after that, it's the New York Gangsters at the San Diego Mean Green Machines. Then the Boston Red Jackets at the Seattle Tenyo. And wrapping up with the Chicago Staleys at the Philadelphia Sonics. So here are the Week 4 results as we start with the Baltimore at Tacoma, as Baltimore was up 26-10 at one point. It looked like they were going to spank Tacoma, but then Tacoma out of nowhere scored 10 points, and with just a minute remaining, were marching downfield, looking like they were going to pull off the comeback, but they turned it over on the drive, allowing Baltimore to hold on to win 26-20 as both teams are now 2-2. Whew, thank God, that was a close one. And then Indianapolis hosting Oakland, as Indianapolis pretty much dominated the entire game. As you see, they won 34-13 as they're still undefeated as Oakland falls to 2-2. And then the outer conference matchup, Jacksonville dominated Kansas City 26-10 as Jacksonville could not get any offense going as they couldn't stop turning over years. They fall to 2-2, and Jacksonville is now 3-1 as they have the second best record in the league. Meanwhile, New York at San Diego. Oh my God! San Diego scored on the first drive of the game, and then no one scored the rest of the game as San Diego won it 7-0 to get their first win of the year. As New York only got 200 yards of offense, showing that New York is in a very bad spot. Their defense is very good, but their offense is honestly up there as like one of the worst right now, because this is really bad. Then Boston at Seattle. It was a defensive slugfest at first, but then Boston exploded in the fourth quarter to score 17 points to win it 30-17 as they're now 2-2, as Seattle has now lost 3 in a row to start the year as they're 1-3. And then finally Chicago at Philadelphia, as it was a defensive struggle all game, and Chicago finally got their first win of the year too. No more winless teams. They won it pretty convincingly, 21-6. As neither team's offense got anything going, Chicago just got the benefit of turnovers to help them get the scores they needed. So we are now a quarter of the way through the season as we see in the update stands. In the Eastern Conference, Indianapolis leads at 4-0, followed by Jacksonville, who has the second best record in the league at 3-1. And then the New York Gangsters have the tiebreaker over everyone else to get that third seed at the moment. After that, Philadelphia has a tiebreaker over Baltimore and Boston, and then my Charm have the tiebreaker over Boston to get the 5th seed. Then in the Western Conference, in a three-way tie, Kansas City still has a tiebreaker, as Oakland's the 2nd seed, and Tacoma is the 3rd seed, as Seattle's still the 4th seed, Chicago's still the 5th seed, and San Diego is still the 6th seed. No more winless teams, but we still have Indianapolis undefeated. And here is the schedule for next week, as we got a whole bunch of big games, starting off with Boston at Baltimore. Whoever wins will be over 500 in the playoff race at the moment in the Eastern Conference. Then Philadelphia at Indianapolis, as Indianapolis tries to stay undefeated, and Philadelphia is trying to get over 500, stay in the mix. And then Jacksonville at New York. This is like a rivalry game between the two as they're trying to stay in the playoff race. Then in the Western Conference, it's Kansas City at Tacoma, with the winner taking the lead in the division at the moment. And then Seattle at Oakland, as Oakland trying to stay in the mix as well. And then finally wrapping up with San Diego at Chicago, as one of them is going to be 1-4. And with that, Week 4 is in the book. So see you guys next time for Week 5, as this season's starting to get very interesting now.